It's wine time again. I'm having appetizer wine, just my boxed rosé. Today I was going to tell you guys something funny I was talking about with my sister Ellen. So throughout my adulthood, probably starting in my 20s when I left my first job with Stevens, that was in Little Rock, Arkansas, my first trading desk I ever worked on, I was having a moment of what I call the George Costanza moment. And for anyone who's too young to know, that's from Seinfeld. George Costanza always came up with ideas of, a career path he could go into. I think one of it was like coaching like the Yankees or something. But I've always had those moments where it's like, okay, what will I do next? And being that as I'm filming in my Airbnb apartment, that once we move, I joked with my sister that my only source of income, unstable income, because it's not guaranteed, you're always going to have a guest, I will lose that, quote, unstable income. But then I remembered, oh, you did write a 3-book series, and I believe that I have good talent. So one of the things I wanted to say was thank you to a good friend of mine, Jason Millard, from high school. When I was writing the Ice Queen 1 in the first novel, I didn't know how to write when someone prepares a gun, for lack of better terms. So there was a part where it said, through the sound of the toilet flushing, she heard the sound of the hammer being pulled back on a gun. And that is Nexa hearing this, and it's Quinn, I guess, pulling the hammer back on a gun. But I had no idea how to write that, and what I had written was probably pretty embarrassing. So I had messaged him and asked him, since I knew he was familiar with guns, weapons, how to write that part. And wanted to say thank you, because there are all these little parts that go into it when you write a novel. Most people who are authors will understand all the editing, cover artist, all those parts. Today, I am wearing a dress from H&M. My sister and I think, both had these. I leave one at my mother's, and I always keep one here at my home in New Jersey. And then I'm wearing my Sisley Fido lip twist. I think it is 6. And I discovered this when my sister and I took my daughter Nexus after she had her first communion 2 years ago. We went to the city, stayed a few nights. Of course, we went a little bit of shopping. We went to the Bloomingdale's in Soho. This is one of the things that, it was funny because the guy salesman showed me this and he's like, it's a summer red. And I was like, you're not lying. It was May at the time. And then I'm in love with it. And who doesn't want a new lipstick or perfume before they go out to eat in the city? And it was a bummer because they didn't have it in stock, so it was shipped to me. So my Summer Red by Sisley. It's not my first thing by this brand. I've loved this. Was shipped to me, and now I'm wearing it. Okay, now that my George Costanza moment's over, I'll see you guys next time. Cheers.